After the Saints lost their first 3 games to open the season, you could feel the locker room tightening up. But after they dropped their 4th game in Philly, and Drew Brees' 4-minute press conference 2 days after, that we got a clear understanding of just how unsettled things really were. Now, minds are a bit more at ease. A small win streak as a way of turning those frowns upside down, and the team appears to be headed in the right direction. Focus now is on winning a 3rd straight game this Sunday against the Giants.
I think the last couple of weeks we've done better. That being said, I don't think we were doing a bad job at the beginning of the season, but for sure, things are definitely coming together. I mean, we were getting pressures, but we weren't getting sacks, and that's just something that we were dealing with. I mean, going forward for the weeks, I'd like to say that going towards this week, it's definitely going to be an emphasis to put pressure on Eli and make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
Anytime you get on a roll, you want to keep it going. We got to get on a run. We started in a hole early in the year, and we got to keep this thing going.
It's not like somebody's taping up some boxes. The injury report is out. Guys that did not practice today: Teron Armstead, Andrus Peat, Jahri Evans, all with knee issues. Marques Colston, non-related. He's a veteran. He could take the day off. Guys that not practiced in LB as well. And David Hawthorne, Kevin Williams, also non-related injury. Limited participation, Keenan Lewis with the hip. Full participation today, Damian Swann. Nice to see him back with the concussion situation there. It's the biggest game on the schedule because it's the next game on the schedule, but it's LSU and Alabama. And even Les Miles said that he's already begun scouting Alabama. As for Nick Saban, whose Crimson Tide have won 4 straight in this rivalry, he'll get to the LSU film when he gets to it.
Guys, I hadn't looked at LSU yet. I mean, you think I stayed up all night last night looking at the game? I actually looked at other teams that were going to play before I came over here today, so I do know Kevin Steele well, and he's a very good coach, and I'm sure he'll do a really, really good job. So, and he's doing a really good job because they're playing really good defense, but I haven't had a chance to look at him yet.
Not sure I believe that, but you know what? Defending NBA champ Golden State, they don't need any help winning games, but the Pels obliged anyway in last night's season opener. The league's reigning MVP, Steph Curry, poured in a game-high 40 points, and a number of his buckets came from second-chance opportunities. The Warriors out-rebounded the Pelicans by nearly 2-1, and 13 of those boards was on the offensive end. Coach Alvin Gentry pointed out this afternoon that the Warriors' rebounding advantage wasn't the only reason his Pelicans lost, but it's a huge one.
They're a great basketball team. They're the world champs, and they got off to a great start. I thought we did a good job of really fighting our way back into the game, and at one point even got ahead by a point, I think. But then we did a very poor job of rebounding. We gave up way too many offensive rebounds. This is not a team that you can give up second shots to. They're such a threat, and then usually when you give up a second shot, it's to a wide open guy standing at the 3-point line. And so I thought that really hurt us.
They'll try again tonight against Portland. Let's see if they can get it right.
Long season.
81 more games.
All right.
Kyrie Robinson's season is over. We're hoping his career is not, but you never know with a fractured tibia. Robinson underwent surgery following last night's game against the Giants. It was in the second quarter that Robinson went down on a 2-yard run, and teammates knew right away that his injury was serious. Many of them gathered around their fallen teammate as a sign of support. Robinson was having a solid 3rd season with the Saints. His 4 touchdowns were a career high. He's expected to be put on injured reserve as early as today. In the meantime, Robinson's absence has opened up a roster spot, and Tim Hightower is reportedly filling it. Hightower, along with a number of other running backs, including former Saints Travaris Cadet and former Bama Heisman winner Trent Richardson, were at the facility earlier today. But NOLA.com reported that Sean Payton went with someone he already knew, as Hightower spent camp with the Saints, and Payton said after his late release that he still had plenty of gas left in the tank. Bombs away sums up Drew Brees' performance on Sunday perfectly. 511 yards on 40 completions. He threw it 50 times in all, and at one point, Brees completed 19 straight passes, with veterans Ben Watson and Marques Colston hauling in the most throws with 17 combined. 10 different guys caught balls on Sunday, which tells us that Brees and his receivers are on the same page.
There's time on task that takes place with a guy like Willie Snead or Brandon Cooks, and certainly Marcus and Drew have worked together for a long time. I think you're seeing that production take place. You're also seeing it take place at the tight end position. So, each week we try to look at, hey, the best way to attack somebody, and we did feel like we wanted to be in some empty yesterday and kind of spread that team out and make them defend the field. And being at home, it allowed Drew a chance to get to the line and get a pretty good picture of what was going on.
Meanwhile, Odell Beckham Jr.'s day in the Dome special with 3 touchdowns and a team high 130 yards receiving. He was Eli Manning's #1 look. And after the game, OBJ, who played at LSU, and teammate Landon Collins, who played at Bama, turned the page on the Saints and began chiming in on Saturday's Tiger versus Crimson Tide game.
I think this one should be the year. You've been so close each and every year, and they found ways to win, and LSU hasn't. It's definitely gonna be an interesting game to watch. I know I'll probably have Landon over to the house and watch the game, chill out.
Of course, roll tide. We're gonna win. We're gonna win by maybe 3 points. I give them 3 points, 3.7 touchdown. It's always a touchdown game, but we're gonna take home that win.
The voice of the Tigers, Jim Hawthorne, will not be in Tuscaloosa for Saturday night's game. Hawthorne underwent successful medical procedure last week, and it'll keep him away from his first LSU football game ever. LSU said they expect him to be back in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, the voice of the Lady Tigers, Patrick Wright, will handle play-by-play duties this Saturday night. Here are your nominees for Player of the Week honors. High school, of course. Tevin Bush of Landry Walker only needed 12 touches to tally 183 yards and a touchdown in the Charging Bucks' 32-7 win over East Jeff. On the North Shore, Noah Siden's 2 forced fumbles and a sack were part of a St. Paul's shutout of previously 4th-ranked Mandeville. And over in Destrehan, the Wildcats remained undefeated and secured the District 7 5A title, thanks in large part to Karan Taylor's 25 carries, 195 yards, 3 touchdown performance. Voting has already begun on Fox8Live.com. And quickly, college basketball's top 25 poll is out. The LSU Tigers are in it. They're 21st in the country, and a big reason why is Ben Simmons, who's been tabbed the SEC's preseason player of the year. Antonio Blakeney and Brandon Sampson are also studs that gave the Tigers the 3rd-ranked recruiting class in the country. LSU and Vandy are the only SEC teams that are ranked in the top 25. North Carolina is #1 in the country, and the season gets underway for LSU middle of November, so it's coming around quickly. They got such a good basketball team there.
Should be fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Juan.
When the Saints visit Philly this weekend, they'll be as healthy as they've been all season long. Jairus Byrd, Dannell Ellaby, Keenan Lewis, all 3 guys saw time against the Cowboys, and we suspect 1 week later they'll be in even better shape for the Eagles. As for Drew Brees, there's no doubt that this guy, he's physically ready for Week 5. Here's Sean Fazan.
Last week, he was limited. This week, Drew Brees wanted to make one thing clear regarding his shoulder injury.
I'm full. I told the trainers and Sean to take me off the injury report. I don't like being on there.
As for his first day after his first game back, Brees described the bumps and bruises as an ordinary Monday morning.
I figured it would be typical game soreness, just like there always is. But, I mean, guys up front kept me relatively clean, so I figured I'd be okay coming in, and, I was just your typical soreness.
Brees says he's still doing rehab despite being a full go at practice, but his most physically demanding work may be coming away from the facility.
My best rehab is when I'm home. I had like an hour-long wrestling match with all 3 boys yesterday, where it was, lots of like over-the-head body slams, and they're jumping on me, and I take more of a beating at home than I do on the field.
Not only did Brees return to the field, he also brought a new tool with him. Like Luke McCown the week before, Brees wore a wristband that had the plays on him. He said it did help with the tempo of the offense Sunday night. With the Saints in Metairie, I'm Sean Fazan for Fox 8 Sports.
Thank you, Sean Fazan. The injury report is out. Guys that did not practice today: Teron Armstead, Thomas Morstead, Marcus Colston, Kevin Williams. Guys that were limited this afternoon: Jairus Byrd, Keenan Lewis, Brandon Cooks, and Jari Evans, who hasn't played the past 2 weeks, so nice to have him back on the field once again. College football now. LSU fans, they love to tailgate, even on the road, and the Tigers were expected to travel to Columbia this weekend. But now that the schedule is made an about-face, South Carolina about to play a home game in Tiger Stadium, LSU fans all of a sudden have to change their plans. Tiger coach Les Miles has made it a priority to keep this week as normal as possible for his players, but the same can no longer be said for LSU fans, who now have another home game to get ready for.
I would say to them to put away their fishing rod for this weekend and to You know, that weekend that you were going to, you know, take your wife someplace because there wasn't a home game, that you postponed those plans, and you pull the RV up, and you start cooking, and you come back to your comfortable confines of Tiger Stadium and start making a lot of noise.
Sounds good to me. 993 yards in 4 games and 20 touchdowns. Brother Martin's Bruce Jordan Swilling has been unstoppable this season, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Jordan Swilling was selected as the Greater New Orleans Amateur Athlete of the Month for September. Jordan Swilling has had rushing games of 333 and 271 yards. He had a 5-touchdown game where 2 other scores were nullified because of penalties. The Crusaders are 4-1. They're on the road this Friday at Sulphur. Now to our Pelicans, who are in experimental mode during the preseason. It's because you've got a new coach taking on an entirely new group of players, and he has to find the right combination. But he's also got to answer some questions in the middle. With center Alexia Jensa out for up to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury, a backup for center Omer Eshik has to be found.
I think this is the time of year where you really got to try to find out the combination of guys that you can play and how, you know, how they really, the chemistry with those guys and how they fit together.
It doesn't matter what position I play. I played some center last year when me and Ryan was in the game, but it doesn't matter. You know, I just go out there and play basketball.
And I want to mention this really quickly. Katie Higginson played for the Louisiana Fire under-19 team, and now she's practicing with the under-20 World Cup team at the U.S. out in California. We wish her the best of luck with that team. She'll be out there for the entire week, getting ready for the 2016 World Cup in Papua New Guinea.
That's pretty
we
good.
hope she makes it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Juan.